to your 2026 video horoscopes with me, Lada from AstroLada.com. I call those short and sweet summaries of 2026 for each of the 12 signs because they focus just on Saturn and Jupiter, the two planets that determine the external and internal environment, the most important events in our life. We'll go through them so you have an idea how the year will be ahead. But if you'd like the full version of those videos, you can check my 2026 video horoscope, 2 hours for each of the signs, way more in depth. We covered the other planets, Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune as well, all the eclipses, all the retrogrades of Venus and Mercury, and so on. But now enjoy and may you have a blessed 2026. Sun, Moon, or Rising 2026. Taurus, Saturn will be in your 12th house. You can hear a lot of astrologers, and that's the whole 2026, 2027 part of 2028 when it starts entering your sign. Very rare. This is the end of a 28-30 year cycle for you. And this is the last phase of that cycle. So maybe things that have been starting over the last 30 years, maybe not 30 years ago exactly, but sometime in the last 30 years, will start coming to an end. You naturally start becoming detached from them. This is one of the high vibration of Saturn, to be detached. Maybe you are very much into something, into a career, or very much into some kind of Saturn rules your 10th house, rules your 9th house, into some type of lifestyle or into a person or whatever, some recurring issue or situation in your life. It starts fizzling out over the next 2 years. There is more and more either out of circumstances or naturally within itself. It starts dissolving the attachments that we have. And because it's a preparation phase, a lot of astrologers call Saturn through the 12 houses. Oh, you're stuck, you're in suspense, you're confused, you're depressed, for your mental health, it's like you're in prison. I just went through Saturn through my 12th house from my sun. I call it a sacred pose. I call it a sacred pose rather than prison and suspense. Because this is the time the soul forces you to slow down, to the external, especially the hustle and bustle of the external world, rushing around, doing, and you had for a little bit Saturn in the 12th house in 2025, maybe you got a bit of an inkling. But this sacred pose is when the soul deconstructs and helps prepare you for the new phase of 30 years that will start when Saturn moves into Taurus from 2028. Brand new beginning, very powerful new direction in life. But first you need to decouple from the past. You need to release the past so there can be some endings. Some people can say it's losses. I call it's being saved from something and being released from something you no longer need. And as I said, it's very often the process is natural, that you naturally decouple from certain attachments, addictions, 12 house rules addictions, and that you consciously work on them as well, that you put some efforts there, because this will be just a burden for you in the next 30-year cycle that starts from 2028. So a lot of people really can work a lot on their mental health. The sacred pose is when the body kind of like is in, the soul, the psyche is in gestation phase before the birth of the new you, with Saturn in the first house through your sun, moon, or ascendant. There is the gestation phase, like the pregnancy phase, where you still don't know what sex the baby is, what the new you will be, when you're still not sure where you're heading, what the future will be. You're noticing that certain things have to end. You're noticing that things calm down, become slower, that it's difficult to do external changes, and that it's difficult to make big kind of like big new beginnings. Don't stress yourself. Be patient. They will come. You also had a lot of changes with Uranus through your sign, but Uranus is leaving in April, your sign Taurus. So you're left alone to take a pause, this sacred pause, to rest. Because Uranus over the last 8 years was like bam, bam, bam for some of you, turning your life upside down almost, with shocks, very fast moving changes, which is disruptive for Taurus. Taurus is supposed to be, it was necessary, but it's more stressful than for other signs. And Taurus, Uranus is leaving you from April 2026. So no big sudden life changes that turn your life around. It's more like a time for a rest, 26, 27. Take a break, work with the subconscious. Sometimes, like I work with a psychologist, positive one, spiritual psychologist, We look through past life, attachments, addictions. Positively, I summarize the achievements I've had so I can look at myself positively, embrace. It's good for psychological work with Saturn in the 12th house. It's good for healing past wounds. Even if you're not doing it consciously with Saturn in the 12th house, something magical happens, like in your dreams you work through past. Maybe you can even dream a lot more about the past because your soul is doing a recap of the past. And suppressed feelings, unprocessed traumas, they kind of get worked on. It's an internal process. People that are spiritual, that like isolation, being alone, they go through the spirit of Saturn in the 12th house much better. I'm a big loner the past 2 years. Yes, I was social at times, but I was also long periods alone, sometimes 16 hours per day. I'm in my bedroom, not necessarily sleeping, thinking, researching. 12 houses about researching, studying, getting in touch with your soul, doing meditations. And I really love that sacred pose. Yeah, I was frustrated sometimes, like, oh, what's next? I want the next thing. I want to push it. I want to push this new beginning. But I had things to lose, ends to tie, things to complete, to end, to prepare. So it's also ending stuff and preparing for the new. Is this gestational period? Just like a pregnant woman, you need to be more careful, spend more time alone, rest. Sometimes sleep is influenced because the internal world is very kind of, that's where the inner work is happening. So sleep can be a bit. My sleep has been kind of, because I think about a lot of things and so on. So it's been hard falling asleep with Saturn in my 12th house. But yeah, this also, you can learn to put some sleep discipline, because 12th house is dreaming, sleeping. Saturn is to discipline yourself there, to find the routine with your sleeping, because sleeping will prepare you to have the energy for the new beginnings that come. And on a material level, there can be some important events connected to foreign countries, to faraway places, to research and studies. But otherwise, it's a lot more psychological, Saturn in the 12th. But let's go to Jupiter. Where are the good things in 2026? The first half of 2026, Jupiter is in your third house, Taurus. Oh, I forgot to show this. Of course. Here you are, Saturn in your 12th house. Jupiter is in your third house, so till July, Jupiter says it's good time to make contacts. Saturn says, yeah, you need alone time. 12 houses is isolation, resting, maybe even kind of just having alone, quiet time to rethink things, journaling, whatever you want, meditation, working on your addiction. Saturn to the 12th house is amazing time to detach from addictions, from things that are self-sabotaging you, and ending such behaviors. While Jupiter in your third house says, okay, we're gonna create with more ease some contacts, everyday people. You can, have new nicer neighbors, move to a nicer neighborhood, for example, or your relationship with siblings or teammates, workmates, relatives can improve. There can be some good news, like when I had Jupiter in my third house, my brother got married. Good news with siblings, with relatives. There can be kind of good things connected to your commute. Third house is commute. If you have to work, there's some easier circumstances there when it comes to commuting, transportation, communications, making easy. I made a lot of friends with Jupiter through the third house. Not friends, but people I can hang out with, because I told you I'm a loner, and with Jupiter in the third house was easier to connect. And you've had Jupiter in the third house from July 2025. Will stay till July 2026, let's say. So yeah, make connections. This is good, the first part of the year. If you have to buy anything to do with laptops, phones, great time. For the first time in 8 years, I got a new phone with Jupiter through my third house. I had an old model, 2008, 18 or something. Jupiter in my third house, I found a great phone, yay. Or if you want to buy a car, if you want to study or learn something, Jupiter through the third house is amazing. It will happen with ease. Your mind becomes more open to new information, to connecting with new people, to sharing ideas with others, and receiving good ideas from others. It's good for business, contacts, marketing, advertising with Jupiter in the third house. I had a lot of short trips. Jupiter in the third house is great if you want to travel anywhere, buy cars, go short-term travel. Short, yeah. These are short travels, third house. You become more curious about the everyday things around you, news and so on. But you can also overwhelm yourself with too much information, while Saturn in the 12th needs some retreat. Because I just went through Saturn in the 12th and Jupiter in the 3rd, I can tell you. So I was like, I was busy with Jupiter in the 3rd, interested about the world, what's happening around me, meeting new people, communicating, having a lot of conversations, communications, business ideas as well, a lot of marketing, media work as well. But I also needed a lot of retreat with Saturn in the 12th. So, like, record videos, third house is that, or go and be social, third house. And then I'll need a couple of days just on my own to shake off everything. Right. And then Jupiter from July enters your fourth house, Taurus. So it's going to be from July 2026 till July 2027. Now, both Jupiter and Saturn will be working in personal, emotional houses, emotional release, healing. Jupiter starts helping Saturn with its work of processing out traumas, closing certain chapters, rethinking the past, reconstructing the past, and seeing it in a different way that makes you filled and healed emotionally. It can be also about healing generational trauma or ancestral patterns from your family, the repeating negative patterns that Jupiter really helps you with release, realization. Jupiter is about realizing something, understanding it on a higher level, and the shift happens naturally once you have this aha moment about those repeating patterns, psychological, emotional, from ancestry, from past, uh, how you're doing them and releasing them and changing them. It can help you improve your relationship with family. It can extend family. We added another family member with Jupiter through my fourth house now. Um, Expand family. It's very good for settling, finding a right place to live, finding a place where you feel more at home, like your safe haven. We bought a property with Jupiter transiting my fourth house from the sun. So, maybe expanding the house or something good coming to you from family or improving relationship with parents or becoming a parent yourself or just emotional happiness and healing. There's this feeling much more emotionally secure, much more emotionally fulfilled and content, this kind of warmth in the stomach here. It can also help heal stomach issues when Jupiter is in the fourth house, because that's connected to the stomach and that area around here as well. So yeah, this is emotional anchoring that comes home from the second part of the year, becomes like your cornerstone of support and positive things happening there. Or some people can adopt like a pet, so they feel this more family love. Others can be like there's just more bonding with the family or extended family, or something with property, real estate goes well, or just emotional healing. And we're going to have the nodes changing signs. The eclipses start happening on the axis of career and home. So, for already from February 2026 and 2027. So, there'll be also big changes with where we live, where you work, the 10th house, career, personal life. But we'll speak about that in the extended version of this video. You can check it out. It's only $19. It's at the discount now. It's 2.5 hours, and I go much more in depth about Saturn, about Jupiter, about Uranus, about where life is heading for you. So yeah, it's okay to take it more easy, Taurus. It's okay to. It's a period of healing that starts. It's a period of releasing the past and preparing for the new. Thank you.